All right, grab your stick. Any kind of stick, any kind of blunt object. Okay. We're gonna take the rain jacket off of Robert. That looks like fucking trash. It looks like something out of the trash bin. Okay, grab your stick. Any kind of stick will do. Any kind of, not too long, not too short. A short stick could also work as well. So an Escrima, a short stick, and grab it, not at the very bottom. If you don't want, if you're sparring with somebody, or if you're in a real combat with somebody that is also an expert stick fighter, or at least the same as you, or expert stick fighter, then hold it at the bottom so you don't you can kind of come in and take it away like that, or so just get that out of the way. But I always like to choke it up, because if I'm ever using this in a real life situation, it's probably not going to be against somebody that's an expert Escrima knife fighter, or an arnis master, silat master. So I'm going to choke up a little bit, have more power while still having lots of length. And I can also use the back to bash, strike, pummel. Also coming in here, you can do that with your hands low, but it just doesn't feel the same. And you also come around, you can use the bottom to come around the neck here. And then you use your elbow, forearm and elbow to pinch the neck and to manipulate the head, which if you can manipulate the head, you manipulate the body. Boom. So, if you're ever in a real situation with a stick, don't be twirling it around like this. This is just a good way to strengthen your fingers and hands and flexibility on your wrist, and just get familiar with the actual weapon. But if you're in a real life situation and you're like, hey man, woo, and you're flipping it around and you're like, see what I can do? Then they're just gonna yoink and they're gonna grab it and then they're gonna use it against you. So when you do this kind of stuff, just do it on your own to practice with, and not as a habit to do in a real situation. So we already got videos of striking, how to strike, all kinds of stuff. If a real life situation, you're not going to poke them with a tip either. It's not a knife, and it's not a short sword. It's not I wouldn't even poke anybody with a machete, because machetes are real rounded at the end. So forget about poking. I see that in videos. Unless it's like a heavy duty piece of rebar, or a piece of iron, or a heavy wood, a heavy stick, and you're going into the throat and you have really good aim. Like I can't, if I go as fast as I can, I get the neck, I get the collarbone, I go off to the side, I'm in the top of the chest. Because you want to be strong and fast. So it does take time to get a really good accurate strike, strong accurate strike. And now what you could do is just put it right, face something, maybe throw something out of the face, throw something over the face like a piece of clothing or debris, metabish or metabouche, and then you can come in and press the tip of the stick or whatever object you have right into the throat, and then you can push. Then you can come in and grab the back and really drive down. And if you don't want to kill the person, just go right in the very hollow at the bottom there and just kind of press and go down, and that will be very uncomfortable. Then they'll go and like this, and then you can wrap. So what you do then is you wrap around the outside of the neck here, and palm is up on the back here, and you pull, and you knee, groin, diaphragm, body, into the, if you can get into the ribs, and then if you pull them down far enough, of course, you get into the face, And you're probably going to be loose here, but in the face, and then maybe you go up underneath and you drive them up, or you drive them up with both hands like this here. So you here, and then for some reason you bring them all the way down, knee, and they're still going, and then you go up underneath, and you use this underneath the chin or into the throat, and you maybe get behind them and do a little sweep. As you're bringing them up, sweep the legs, sweep one leg, or knee them again, and so you can use both hands to press up underneath the chin into the, and you could also, so you could press and you could also smash into the side of the neck. Careful with the front of the neck if you don't want to really destroy them or potentially fatally harm them or kill them, because you can kill somebody, collapse their throat, their Adam's apple right here. So careful with the front of the throat. If you go to the front, you can go low into the hollow. Try it on yourself. Okay, it's very uncomfortable just on a few pounds of pressure. So, and then underneath the chin and bringing the chin up. Okay, and then the person gets uncomfortable and they fall back. This is you're most likely going to encounter people that don't know what they're doing. They're drunk. If they're on drugs, then you really gotta be very effective with eyes and throat and knees. So you're doing this, you're pinching and trying to pinch off the neck here and kicking the knees, go into the groin, hold on to the stick, swipe the eyes, bash the nose, palm of the nose, swipe the eyes, maybe grab an ear, maybe you grab this ear as well. I'm just kind of free associating right now as I'm kind of making this up as I go. It's eyes, throat, knees, and groin. Those are the four main targeting areas for self-defense, for combat, close quarters combat, personal protection. So with the eyes, I lump in the nose and the ears as well, and then for the neck, it's front of the throat and the sides of the neck. Don't worry too much about the back of the neck, unless you're smashing a rock or some huge object on the back of the neck. You have to do a lot more force. It's not like a movie where you can just, judo chop the back of the neck and they're just like, fall to the ground. Groin is last on the list because if they're, it's a pain restraint or pain strike. So if they're on drugs, they're not going to feel it. If they're having a full adrenaline rush, they're not going to feel it. Maybe even if they're drunk, they're not going to feel it. So knees, you take out the knees, take out the neck. They can't control the blood supply to the head. And then of course the front of the throat with their breathing. And then eyes, they can't see. And then I lump also the nose. If you can break the nose or pull the nose, you can push the nose to the side, straight in. And then ears, of course, too. When you have here, you can slap the ears to disorient the person, and then grab the ears. Try this on somebody around you, or you pinch the ears in the fingers in the palm, and then you do one of these where you push and pull. So you push and pull, and then you go one way or the other. If I'm going to the left, I'm taking the ear and I want to go up and around, up and over. If I go to the right, I take this left ear and I go up and over. Okay, hope that makes sense. So this whole video is going to be, well, it's about the stick obviously, but got a little bit out of hand, a little bit off on some tangents. So yeah, straight in, we got just striking, that kind of stuff. With sticks, and if it's a light stick, you're not going to do much damage striking. It's more of a distraction. Okay, it's for clearing hands, clearing arms, clearing weapons. It's for distracting, distract the face, distract to the bottom and come up, and then you can, any kind of distraction, so that if there's arms coming, you can strike fingers and hands, that you can kind of break fingers and break some bones in the hands. That's that's, you know, again, as long as, even if they're, you know, if you break a finger, if they're drunk, they're gonna have a hard time holding on to stuff and holding on to you. But anyways, clearing hands, clearing arms, breaking hands and breaking fingers, possibly breaking the hand, breaking the bones in the hand. And then, what was I saying? So, clearing and then distracting, or distracting to the face so you can get in close, or distracting so you can get away. So clearing, coming in, distracting, and to the face, and then so you can get in close, palm heel, and then you can wrap and get into this position here. And that's when you can really do some damage with, of course, the neck. You come in hard enough, you can kind of, if you can pinch the side of the neck with the carotid, and you come in with this side, you kind of do one of these things. Bob's got a really wide neck for the average person. So if I'm underneath, palm up, like this, and I really get my elbow in towards my hand, okay, maybe throw a knee or two, and then pinch again. If you are a headbutter, you come in for a headbutt. I don't like headbutts, never have, never had to use it. I never practice it because concussions are a real thing, and my brain moves around a little bit in my head and will give me a concussion pretty easily. So I learned how to move real fast and dodge strikes and punches when I was doing more sparring and fighting and stuff. So that's more my strength. Brawling and being like tough guy brawler, not my strength, but I learned how to do certain things, but that's not where my strength lies. So get in here, practice both sides. So coming in here, boom. And so from here, headbutt, knee, hold on with one hand, come across, claw the eyes, maybe smash the nose, and grab again. Smells like feng shui out here. It smells like the Shaolin Temple. I don't know. And maybe you knee, and maybe you kick in step, kick the knee, their knee. Maybe you kick down on their knee. Maybe you have big shoes and boots, so you can stomp on their foot, break some foot bones. Go in knee again, pulling in. Okay. So where was I going to go with this? Oh, that's right. So, like I said, there's a couple different ways you can just get into this. You can just kind of shield. Maybe there's some punches and they don't know what they're doing. They're coming at you. You kind of shield and you do one of these blocks here, and you come in palm heel, kind of jamming the opponent. Boom. So their right arm is coming in with a punch. Maybe it's not straight in. If it's straight in, you can kind of triangulate and go around their arm. Their arm is down here, and you can go in like that. Or if it's the kind of wide punch, hook punch, kind of a haymaker, you can kind of shield, duck under, kind of parry the arm by, and then you come in like that, and you come in this way. So a couple of different ways you can come in. And again, boom, reverse, maybe you come to the groin and just give them a shot. And maybe they feel it, maybe they don't. Boom, and then come in. Boom. Practice that here. Ow. Woo! Gave myself a stinger. Because I'm usually just going boom, boom. Again, work on catching that. I was looking over at the camera and I kind of missed it a little bit there. Boom, boom. And then I hit myself a little too hard. Gave myself a stinger. So, boom. Forget about coming straight in unless you're, doing one of these, or poking them in the eye, and that even then, eyes are pretty resilient, and it's so hard to get it, and so you're gonna hit unless you want to take somebody's eye out. If it's a life or death situation, but you're not gonna use the stick's strengths that way. So deflect. Come in, maybe a couple shots to the face. Oh, maybe you come back up, maybe you do this, maybe you do that, and then you kind of go retreat. or you have their stick hidden here, like, hey, I don't want any trouble, I don't want any trouble. They come in, you jam, and then come in, boom, with that. So, twirl it like this, give them a helicopter, just like that, boom, 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 right, twirl it through the fingers, boom, right across the bridge of the nose, just like that, and then you smash their lips with your, you put the stick actually in their mouth. It's actually, that actually would work. Put the stick in their mouth and go in, but then, again, that's rough. That's more if you really want to hurt the person real bad, because you fuck up their inside of their throat, they can get infected and that can kill them if they don't deal with the infection. So yeah, face with the butt, boom, ribs you can get in, but again, I'm not going to be doing this when their whole face is available. So that's all for today. Stay tuned for some more videos. We got some plum blossom poles that I just installed. We'll have that video up as well. Got this nice beautiful space. We got a huge yard, huge space around here. Check out my self-defense videos. I'm doing women's self-defense stuff, real nice, good practical combat technical skills in those clips. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.